Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 mod bundle. You may remember a few days ago I put out a poll trying to see what kind of content you'd guys like to see more of on the channel, and it was an overwhelming majority of you who decided to see more mod bundles, so that's what we're doing today. And recently, I've been actually redoing my load order for the new year, getting everything cleaned up, and it got me thinking about some of the mods on my list that are absolute must-haves that I just can't live without. So I thought it would be fun to make another video showcasing some really cool mods that I think are absolutely necessary for just about any load order, and I think that's true for most of the ones here on this list. Interestingly enough, a few of these mods are some that you guys actually ask about quite a bit, so it'll be cool to showcase them once again here, as I don't think I've talked about some of these for a very long time. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin and start off with the first mod, which is the Crafting Highlight Fix by Registrator 2000. Now, this is a very simple mod, but it's a very nice gameplay mod. You may notice in Fallout 4 that whenever you craft something over at a weapons workbench or an armor workbench or even a chemistry station, it's really hard to see what exactly you're doing. So for example, on a modification for a weapon, maybe you're crafting a new skin or a color option, you can't actually see the skin or the color because it's all highlighted in green or white or whatever your HUD color is. And the same is true for armors. Whenever you're throwing on shadowed, polymer, whatever on combat armor, you can't actually see what it looks like, and that's really annoying. So what the Crafting Highlight Fix is going to do is remove that completely. Now whenever you cycle through all of your attachments at a weapon workbench, armor workbench, or chem station, you don't have to worry about it blocking your view. Everything is nice and clear, and you can see all of the changes on screen. This is something that I feature in all my mod reviews because it makes it really cool for previewing attachments, and people ask about this mod all the time. This is definitely one of my most important mods now. It's something I didn't know existed for a long time, but as I started doing YouTube, somebody recommended it to me, and it has not left my load order since. It's an absolutely incredible quality of life mod. I think it's especially crucial when it comes to checking out some of the power armor modifications, as so many of them change the colors of your power armor or maybe even skins, and trying to showcase that in a mod review, much less your own game, it's just annoying having it completely blocked out and not being able to see what's actually changing. So this mod is a godsend. Awesome work as usual by Registrator 2000, always coming in clutch with these really awesome quality of life mods. Now sadly, this does require the Fallout 4 script extender and the mod configuration menu, meaning that this mod is locked to PC. Sadly, Xbox users cannot use this mod, and I have yet to find a version of this or a replacement for this on Xbox. So if anybody knows of one, feel free to leave it down in the comments, but as far as I know, this is a feature that you can only really have on PC as of right now. Now moving on to the next mod, we have yet another one that I get asked about all the time, and that is what I use for my chemistry station. It's known as Simple Immersive Chem Benches by Jimmygitto. This is going to completely replace the chemistry station meshes with a brand new one that looks like it's actually suitable for crafting a variety of items. Now the reason I like having this in my game is the amount of mods that allow you to craft really weird things at the chemistry station makes it not so much a chemistry station anymore. When you're making weapons, armors, and what else, a chemistry station doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So how about a more generalized workstation? And that's what this new mod, Simple Immersive Chem Benches, does. It makes it a general workstation that you could feasibly craft pretty much anything at. It's really small, but it's a nice little touch of immersion that helps people with OCD like me. I don't know why, but every time I see a mod that says that I can craft the item at the chemistry station, it always irks me just a little bit whenever I have to head over to a sink to make a weapon. It's just a little bit goofy. So having this mod with all kinds of added tools to this workbench is really cool. And this is also kind of a 2-for-1 because I also recommend pairing this mod with the Chem Station Renamed mod by LeahTheUnknown. This is going to rename the chemistry station to the crafting station. If you pair these two mods together, you're going to have a beautifully remeshed crafting station that you can craft anything at, and it'll also be renamed. So whenever you approach the bench, it says crafting station. Simple. I don't know why it wasn't like this in the base game. Even in the vanilla game, you crafted a whole lot more here than just chemistry-based items. You could even make explosives in the base game here, so it was kind of weird naming, but whatever. At least we have mods to fix it. Again, this is a super minor thing, but every time I show off a crafting segment in a video, I always get the question, what are you using to replace your crafting bench, and rename it? And this is it. It's not a new bench at all, it just renames it and remeshes it, and now it looks really cool and very immersive. Now, sadly, this is yet another mod that I could not seem to find on Xbox, or at the very least, I can't find it using BethNet's search engine, because that thing is pretty atrocious. As far as I'm aware, this is yet another PC exclusive, but again, if any of you know of an Xbox version or something that does something similar, feel free to let that down in the comments, as I'm sure anybody who's watching this would love a recommendation if they're on console. Now, the next mob we're checking out is one that I have shown off a couple of times here and there on the channel, but it's one that I think is absolutely amazing, and it's in my load order every time I make a playthrough, and that is NPCs Travel by Win2009. This is an absolutely awesome mod that's going to add a bunch of life to the Commonwealth. Now, there will be traveling patrols of various different factions added to the game thanks to this mod. And what's really cool is it adds the kind of factions you'd expect to see in Fallout but don't often see. For example, you may run into just regular old Wastelanders or Mercenaries or just generic factionless enemies. Or even, they don't even have to be enemies, you may run into traitors or friends or just neutral NPCs, something that Fallout 4 was kind of lacking. You'll see them in towns like Bunker Hill or even Diamond City, but you never see them wandering around. There's absolutely no life in vanilla Fallout 4, but this mod is going to add that. You'll see people walking through streets and patrols, you may find a Wastelander looting with his sidekick robot or maybe even a dog, and they always have really cool randomized armors, and I find that whenever you download a lot of armor mods, they are injected into the leveled list that these NPCs happen to pull from, so you'll find them with really cool armor sets, and they even use stuff from DLCs, which is pretty neat. It's always interesting whenever you have this mod installed and you get into combat maybe somewhere near a road, and then all of a sudden a Wastelander and his robot buddy come in and help you, or possibly another group of raiders come in and make the encounter even more difficult. This adds a nice little bit of randomness and a bit of variety to the combat, so you're not just fighting the same old set spawns that you're used to in Fallout 4. There were random encounters in Fallout 4, but they were always set at very specific locations, but in NPCs Travel, these guys are constantly on the move, and you're always going to find them in very different spots, which I think is really cool. This mod has always been a staple in my load order, even from before YouTube when I was still on console. This mod has always stuck with me, and I love it to death. And again, this one's actually on console, so you Xbox users can try this if you somehow haven't already. And another reason it's on this list is because it actually pairs with the next mod we're going to be talking about, which is a pretty new one to me. This new mod is actually very recent and hasn't been on the Nexus for too long, but ever since I discovered it, it has become a new permanent spot in my load order, and I really love what it does. This mod is known as the Mercenary Outfit Extreme Overhaul by DeathByPewPew. This is going to take Default the Fixer's most recent Mercenary outfit pack and add it to leveled lists. Now, that seems like a pretty simple thing, but I really love the way that DeathByPewPew has integrated all of these armors. So, if you're not familiar, Default the Fixer has an awesome Mercenary outfit pack that just adds a bunch of neutral Mercenary gear. It's not targeted to gunners or any specific faction, it's just some nice neutral color armor with a really cool lore-friendly aesthetic that I like a lot. And this mod is going to integrate it to several leveled lists, and it's super customizable. When you install this mod, you can choose exactly where these armors go. You can really play with it and customize it to your liking, and there's even a patch that will add all of these armors to the level list of a lot of the NPCs in the NPC Travel mod, so any of the Mercenaries or Wastelanders may have some of these cool new armors on them. So there is a possibility that you run into a traveling NPC who has some really cool armor, and you have to make the moral decision, do you kill them to take their really cool gear? Which is something that I often do. But the NPCs Travel integration is featured in a separate patch. When you download this mod standalone, you get to choose if these armors are integrated into the Mercenary leveled list, so like the generic Mercenaries guarding Parsons State Insane Asylum. You can add these to Caravan guards so that the caravans actually have some beefier guards, which I think is really cool because the normal guards have some really lame armor for protecting an entire caravan. You can add this to the level list of Scavengers. You can add it to the Covenant Security Guards, which I thought was pretty interesting. Rather than that lame old flannel shirt and a vest, they actually have some cool new armor, and they look a little bit more organized. You can also add these to the Neighborhood Watch in Good Neighbor, which I chose not to because I do like the 50s style mafia look of Good Neighbor, but hey, it's up to you. And then finally, you can add a special unique suit from this outfit pack to Edward Deegan, who is a very true mercenary in Fallout 4, so I think that's very fitting for him. On top of all of this really cool integration into the leveled list, this mod also makes some small changes to the original armor mod, including balancing some of the armor so that they have slightly less armor rating, or maybe the backpacks have slightly less carry weight, and additionally, it does make it so that it removes the original spawns of these armors, because the way default implemented them, they're all in one location and it feels kind of cheaty whenever you find them. Now that spawn has been removed and you actually have to find these in the Commonwealth on the leveled list, which I think is awesome. And finally, that's going to take us to our last mod this video, which is kind of like 10 or 12 mods, but I'll explain. The last mod we're checking out is called The Master Plan by Ethreon. Now, for the uninitiated, the Master Plan is pretty much a requirement mod that enables a ton of other settlement mods to work. As far as I'm concerned, all of these additional settlement mods are one mod under the roof of the Master Plan. You download the Master Plan and it adds a new category to your workshop menu, and then you can download all of these other mods and they'll show up in there. And all of these other mods have a bunch of really cool themes, and I use pretty much all of them in my load order as I think they have great resources for building settlements with a very lore-friendly aesthetic, and even a couple of packs that aren't super lore-friendly, but sure are a lot of fun. So the Master Plan is the parent mod, and that's the one I'm going to be linking down in the description. And from there, it actually has a list of all of the mods that you can download with this mod to add a bunch of cool new items. So you can get one of my favorite mods called Vanilla Extensions. This is going to add a ton of vanilla items that for whatever reason weren't included in the original workshop. Don't know why they weren't there, but this mod's going to add them back. You can download Port Royal, which is one of my favorite settlement mods. Hard stop, because it adds a ton of cool nautical themed items, including different boats, docks, and coastal buildings. A lot of stuff that looks like it's ripped straight out of Far Harbor. There's a small mod called Stairs, Ladders, and Ramps that adds a ton of stairs, ladders, and ramps, so you have convenient ways to get up in your settlement. Cabin in the Woods is a really cool way to add log cabins into Fallout 4, which I think is very fitting, especially in the Commonwealth. There's a mod called Red Rocket Reborn that allows you to build entire red rockets. The Pipes Galore mod adds various sizes of pipes. Wasteland Billboards will add a ton of billboards you can throw around the wasteland. Bob's Iguana Diner allows you to build all of the diners that you see scattered around the Commonwealth, including Trudy's Diner, if you know the diner style I'm talking about. There's a modular set in this pack so that now you can build your own. There's a mod called Adam's Greatness, which I think is absolutely fantastic. It adds a bunch of church supplies so you can build entire churches, as well as a bunch of church accessories, and my favorite inclusion in this mod is the addition of graves and gravestones. So if any of your settlers die, you can actually memorialize them, which is pretty neat. And there's even more mods than this. These are just some of the ones that I use in my own load order. The amount of stuff here is absolutely incredible and awesome stuff by Ethreon. And back in the early days of Fallout, when there weren't a ton of settlement mods, these absolutely carried the settlement community. These mods are fantastic and they still hold up today. And on top of that, this mod is on Xbox as well as all of the additions I just mentioned. So if you're an Xbox user and you like to build settlements, I'd highly recommend picking these up. But with that, we're going to round out this video. That is pretty much everything. Before we go, I just want to say that I will be taking a couple days off to celebrate Christmas, so starting today, I will not be uploading for a few days until Monday after Christmas. So I will see you guys then with a brand new Mods Weekly. But until then, I hope you guys enjoy your holiday season. Even if you don't celebrate it, I hope you have a good few days, enjoy some rest, and hopefully some time off of work. Maybe you can even get some time in with some of these new mods to try out in your own load order. I love you guys, and you definitely deserve it. With that, let's go ahead and wrap things up. I hope you guys found at least one new mod to throw into your load order. All of these are staples in mine, and I highly recommend them. Hope you guys enjoyed the video as well. If you did, don't forget to drop a rating. Consider subscribing if you haven't already for more videos just like this. Big shout out to all of my patrons, and a very special thank you to Avian4, Captain Chaos, Helljumper, Indecisive Wolf, Cushy58, Logan Rigmaiden, Microhan, Moonlit Gamer, Feed, Timmy76, Youth RC, and Voider for joining that Tier 3 Patreon membership. If you'd like to support the channel over on Patreon, you can do so using the link down in the description, but it is completely optional. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace!